I love baseball cards. Got 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Pickup Videos, Local Card Shop LCS Edition. If you haven't already, I ask you to watch part 1 of this video where I review all of the signed cards, over 100 signed cards that I picked up at my LCS. And some of those highlights, I'll give you the big highlights of that video, is I got multiple Hall of Famers autographs for the prices that you see there. And for around 15 bucks, I got all 5 of these Hall of Famers. Now again, these are raw, uncertified autographs, but for 15 bucks, these all look legit to me. The longtime autograph collector I have been, these autographs all look good. In addition to the baseball guys, I also got a Marshall Faulk, who's a NFL Hall of Famer as well, on this checklist. So I encourage you, if you like signed cards, I got over 100 signed cards, and I paid less than $100 basically for all of them. So check that video out. Now this video is going to be a lot shorter. That other video about all the cards is a lot longer because I had 100 cards in that video. This one's going to be a lot shorter because in addition to the cards out of this collection, he also collected signed baseballs that they got this collection from. And some of them are single signed baseballs that I picked up, and some were team signed baseballs. Now a friend of mine, he sent me a picture bragging about all the baseballs that he bought. He told me he bought like 15 baseballs for like 10 to 15 bucks. So he spent just over $100 himself. But I was very jealous on the ones that he found, and these were basically the things he left me, to go after him. So we're going to hit the single sign baseballs first. This is a nice, clean Frank Hondo Howard inscribed Hondo with Rookie of the Year 1960 in a cube on an official Leonard Coleman ball for 20 bucks. And I thought for 20 bucks for a deceased Rookie of the Year, I mean, kind of could be a Hall of Famer one day, you never know. But for 20 bucks on a nice clean signature ball, I grabbed it. Now I showed this one in the other video briefly. This is now Kaline. It is faded, unfortunately, but it was only 10 bucks in a cube on an official Bobby Brown ball. And I thought, the cube's worth 5 bucks. Why not get the Al Kaline? And again, this might make a nice ball card display for somebody if you don't really care about the signature, but you're a big Al Kaline fan. I know you probably would appreciate that baseball for only 10 bucks. So this other one was not in a cube, but it's unique because it's Mickey Owen, who was actually a local to the Southwest Missouri area where I live, but it's signed on a 1994 World Series baseball. Well, if any of you know, the 1994 World Series didn't actually happen. So this is unique in itself that I'm like, I don't really care who signed this. This is a 1994 World Series baseball for a World Series that never happened. So I grabbed this just as a display piece, more or less, not caring about the signature, but the signature actually has held up pretty nicely over the years since 1994. So for 5 bucks, why not? Now this is a diamond in the rough, but we'll get to that next. I was going to show you this one, and this was probably not the best buy because it is personalized and side paneled, but this is Dwight Doc Gooden. So Two Berry Best Wishes, Dwight Gooden on a side panel. And again, official ball, William White ball. I thought, this would make a nice display piece, kind of like the Al Kaline. If you got like a ball card display, that would be a nice ball to stick in there for Dwight Gooden. And again, it was only 8 bucks. So again, the cube is worth 4 to 5. So I thought, why not? So this next one, I don't think anybody knew what this was, or they questioned the authenticity of this. So I'm going to ask you, other autograph collectors, to take a look at this ball, and I'll pull it out of the cube for you guys to take a closer look at it. But for 5 bucks, I took a gamble. So it's a $5 1992 World Series baseball. Again, like the Mickey Owen I showed you. But this World Series actually happened. And this ball is signed by primetime himself, Deion Sanders. So let me pull that out and show it to you, because I don't think they knew what they had. If this is legitimately signed by Deion Sanders, that's a heck of a find for only $5. So let me know what you guys think. You're not hurting my feelings if you think this is fake. I mean, I took a gamble at $5. It's kind of like playing a lottery ticket. You know, I figured if you guys do think it's fake, it would make a nice display baseball just to put in a case, just like that. You know, like the Mickey Owen. But if this is legitimately a primetime autograph on a signed baseball, that was a heck of a steal that I just found at this LCS, because I don't think anybody else recognized who that was. And I picked that up, and my wife was with me. I said, that's Deion Sanders. Or at least it's an attempt at Deion Sanders. She's like, Deion played baseball? I'm like, are you kidding me? Yes, Deion played baseball. So tell me what you guys think. You think that's a legit Deion Sanders on a 92 World Series ball? Because the Braves were there in 92, so it makes sense. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Alright, so we're going to put Deion up here, and I'm going to show you the final two. So we're going to put Deion there, and I'm going to show you the final two, and these were the most expensive part of my purchase that day. And at first I was like, oh, those are a little too pricey. But then I looked at them. Well, the first ball is a 1983 Royals team ball for $30. Well, I'm not pulling this one out of the case, but that is a Dick Howser autograph on the sweet spot, who was the manager. Now, if you go down here at the bottom, the very last signature is Mr. Royal himself, George Brett. So the other names I can make out, I believe that's Buddy Biancalana. Not really sure on that one. I know Frank White signed this as well. Yeah, there's Pat Sheridan, Don Slaught, Amos Otis. Sorry about the blurriness there. Amos Otis, Steve Renko, Joe Nosick, who was one of the coaches. There's Frank White right above the logo there, or through the logo I should say. Cesar Geronimo, Dennis Leonard, Onex Concepcion, Leon Roberts. But like I said, George Brett on the bottom of that panel right there. So that could be Paul Splittorff too. Not sure on that. But anyways, for $30, I thought Dick Howser in itself is worth that probably. And with that being said, right next to it, for $5 less, was the 1984 version of the Royals. Now, if any of you know, I live in Missouri, so I see Royals people, sometimes I see Cardinals people, but 1985 was the Cardinals versus Royals in the World Series. Now, unfortunately, I got 83 and 84, and if this guy had an 85 signed ball, that would be worth hundreds of dollars, because that was the year the Royals won the World Series. Now, I scanned this ball, and there's Dick Howser on the sweet spot again, but I could not make out a George Brett on this ball. So some of the same names are there. There's Don Slaught, there's Jeff Jones, but I could not. There's Pat Sheridan again. There's Frank White. You know, and like I said, I could not make out, possibly Darryl Motley. I could not make Larry Gura, Onex Concepcion again, Paul Splittorff, Darryl Motley, Larry Gura. I think I said that already. But this ball is lacking the George Brett. There's a Brett Saberhagen. So this would have been a rookie signature of Brett Saberhagen on there. And so on and so forth. But like I said, those were the two biggies that I bought, you know, off the baseball table. And there were probably 30 baseballs on this table, and I took these, you know, what you see. And, I was looking at a lot of condition. I mean, there was, for example, there was an Orlando Cepeda signed ball, but it was on a generic baseball. There was a Don Sutton signed on a generic baseball. And I prefer not to get generic baseballs. I prefer to get, the real deal, the authentic balls, because they seem to last through time a little bit better. But I feel the diamond in the rough, like I said, was this Deion Sanders, if it's legitimately real. If it's not real, like I said, I'll just put it in a display case like that and say it's a 92 World Series ball and call it good. So, in addition to all the baseballs, another little small stack of things I bought because I enjoy my oversized cards, was I found the Topps Archives Master Photo. And it's not the complete set, unfortunately, but it was $2 for the entire stack. And I have Danny Manning, Patrick Ewing, Ralph Sampson, James Worthy, Purvis Ellison, and Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, all in that stack for $2. Unfortunately, the David Robinson wasn't there, who's my favorite player, but I know he has one, and I have it already in my collection, so it's not the end of the world. But I thought this Topps Archives oversized set, it would be a good deal. Just to show you comparison, here's that Edgar Martinez autograph, how big these cards are compared to a regular size card. So, again, I want to thank you for joining me for another video. This one was a lot shorter than the card video, but do bear with me. I had a lot of cards to show in that video. Tell me what you guys think on the Deion Sanders. Like I said, I hope I found a diamond in the rough here at the LCS, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm going to go back there and I'm going to buy some more. So I'm probably going to have a part 3 for a separate video. So stay tuned for that. I look forward to your comments, and as always, happy collecting.